You're listening to The Breakfast Show here on Faith FM. Got Justin Lawman on the phone. Justin, mate, how you going?
Yeah, good, Lawson. How are you, mate?
I'm good. Now, we're here in the studio in Newcastle. Where are you located and situated right now? I'm just trying to work this out.
I'm in Murray Bateman.
Okay. I have no idea where that is.
It's near Canberra. I'm driving into the
Okay.
office. It's probably half an hour out of Canberra.
All right, I'm going to call it a 5 to 6 hour drive up the road we are at the moment.
Yep.
I'm going to call it something like that. Okay, on the way to the office, living your best life, Justin, what is happening in the world of politics and prophecy?
Brother. I'm going to go where angels fear to tread this morning. Is that all right?
Okay, yeah. I'm here for it.
I should say hello to Lindsay too. Hey, Lindsay, how are you?
Hi, I'm well. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, good. So at the moment, when they do a welcome to country in the Senate, the One Nation Party is standing up and turning their back.
Wow. Okay.
Have you seen this?
Yeah, I did see that playing out, particularly last week. You know, Pauline Hanson and the likes doing that in Parliament.
Mainly the One Nation senators are the ones doing it, but it led to a interaction between Jacinta Price and Penny Wong and Michaelia Cash that was quite spectacular. I wanted to know about your opinion on the welcome to country.
Yeah, true. Okay, my opinion on the welcome to country. Good question. Listen, I think that obviously this has become a greater part of Australian society, and particularly, you know, acknowledging country at events, and, you know, whether it's a sports game or it's Parliament or some kind of event like that, people are doing. I think there is a good intention that it comes from, but potentially some of the beliefs that it represents, particularly as a Christian, I don't necessarily subscribe to. And I think particularly in the area of some of the beliefs, because I know there is an acknowledgement of elders past, present, and future, and there can be some spiritual inference to that, an invoking of spiritualism at times, because this is a part of Aboriginal culture and religion, this idea of spiritualism and spirits and that kind of thing, which I don't subscribe to. Look, if I'm wrong, you can inform me different, but that's where I kind of sit.
Sorry to chuck you on the spot there, but look, I love the history of the Indigenous culture in Australia, and Bora rings and all those things in the bush, and tree markings, all sorts of stuff. I love to search that out, but it was contrasted this week with starting with prayer, because it's something the Parliament has tried to get away from, is starting the day with prayer. I think it's unfortunate it's got to that. And I think in some ways the welcome to country is being overdone. Yeah, okay. And every time a plane lands, they do it when you hit the ground, and it just, I think in some ways it's losing what it is intending to do.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Watch this space, because something's going to pop here shortly with the Senate. I don't know how long this can go on.
Yeah, I mean, it could potentially turn into an issue where you could be barred from sitting in Parliament if you're not acknowledging it.
Whole senators turning their back. I don't know what's going to happen there, but that's something to keep an eye on in politics in Australia. Let's get away from that and go to something much less controversial.
Okay.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
My brow.
Oh, we went there. Okay.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is in Scotland at the moment. His mum was born in Scotland.
Oh,
Okay. Hanging out in Scotland.
The Scots don't like Trump, but he's there anyway. He owns 2 golf courses over there. But he's working deals, and he's reduced the tariffs for Europe from 30% to 15%. Australia's only paying 10% on our tariffs, which shows that we might be more favoured than Europe. But the whole distraction from Epstein is still going on.
Yeah. Wow.
And Barack Obama is in the, even more than last week when we spoke, mate. I said that he could be in some trouble.
Uh-huh.
This is not going away. And it looks like now they are going to a full-blown investigation into what's happened in the Russiagate and leading up to the election in 2017.
Wow. Oh man, it's popping off, and particularly as well, just like I talked about Epstein last Friday. I just gave a general update on what was happening in that space. Over the weekend, now they've changed the tune again. If you haven't heard, they've said that there is a client list. They've gone from there's no client list to it's made up from the Democrats to okay, there might be a client list, but it's still like nothing's really clear to, okay, there's definitely a client list, but focus on the people that are in it, like Bill Clinton. That's kind of the tune now coming from, which is always eerie if the person that's saying, hey, focus on Bill Clinton. I'm like, Trump, does that mean that you're in it and we shouldn't focus on you? Is that what's being said in it?
He's not helped this, has he? Yeah. He's making it worse. So everyone now wants to know more than ever who's on this list and what evidence is there, because his own base won't let this go. This is going to keep haunting him. It's got to now come out. I think it's quite significant that the Russiagate thing was dropped right at the same time, and the investigation into Obama and everything. I do think that's related.
Yeah, which is ultimately, it's kind of a sad thing, because it's like, hey, if there's a former US president who is meddling in elections to stop a candidate from winning, that is bad, and there should be prosecution as a result. But to use a totally valid kind of prosecution, hey, whether we actually find out whether it's true or not, but to like a genuine concern that could potentially like have some legs and some evidence with it regarding this Obama thing, to use something that is potentially a really valid legal case in prosecution to cover your tracks regarding your promises to expose wealthy elite people who have been abusing the justice system and have been using their position of power to get away with sex trafficking, to distract from a promise that you made to finally bring justice to this other issue because you're scared that it might bring justice to yourself. Man, it just goes to show, I think, the height of evil and self-preservation that we're seeing in this world of politics.
I think populism is taking off around the world because here, average Joe could have done just a quarter of the things involved on both sides of this argument, and we'd be in prison for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And people that are wealthy or powerful are not being prosecuted or held to the same accountability. And that's a problem. That's why the globalist model of governance with the rich, powerful, everyone else doing what they're supposed to is falling over all around the world, and the angry mob, the populace, are on the march.
Yeah. Oh, so we're watching this space. Hey, Justin, what else is happening in the world of politics and power? We've gone from Australia to Scotland to the United States. What else are we looking at?
The Federal Reserve can you hear me, mate?
Yeah.
I seem to be dropping in and out here. The Federal Reserve.
The Fed.
Trump is at war with the Fed. This is probably going to have more bearing on our lives than anything else. The Fed has been independent from whoever's elected in government. They are making headway to stop that and actually bring it back under the control of the Congress.
Wow. Okay.
That Bernanke was Bernanke. Now it's Bernanke. What's his name? Yeah, it slipped me now. He's the former one. He is, and Trump have been at absolute loggerheads and war.
Jerome Powell. Is that who?
Jerome Powell.
Yeah.
Jerome Powell. They have been able to oversee the printing of money in a way that is we're all going to pay a terrible price for this eventually. There's a lot of movement. Whoever has control of money has ultimate control. And that is going to be changed, I would predict, over the next 12 months, which is a massive shift in the way the world economy functions.
Yeah, wow. And I mean, this is the issue of our times. This is the can that has been kicked down the road repeatedly. We're talking about 20 years. And I like thinking back to the early 2000s and thinking of the likes of Al Gore, for example, standing up there and saying, hey, if we don't get global warming under control, we're going to see the end of our world and these kinds of things. And so, a lot of people making those countries attempting to make those strides to curb global warming while letting the economy run rampant like this. The day of reckoning is coming, really.
Debt is going to destroy our current system. And look at Australia, we're building incredible infrastructure to get away from climate change. The snow skiing, the HumeLink, the windmills, the solar panels. This is mainly with borrowed money. This is printing money that we don't have. This is not being backed by anything tangible. This is going to come home to roost very soon. And watch what happens with the Fed and the Trump administration, because no one else has been game to take this on.
Yeah, wow. Oh, all right. We've got about a minute and a half left. Justin, what are we thinking about? What can you leave us with?
We want to think about Jesus, mate, and that he has control of human history. He's going to step back into it when the time is right. That's the one thing that don't be anxious about all these things that are happening. What's going to go on. Today's going to have enough troubles of its own. We don't have to worry about the future. We know that Jesus is at the center of it.
Wow. Amen. We have a lot to look forward to in terms of the things that God is doing. Justin, thank you for your insight. Thank you for your perspectives. I think they should leave us with an impression of, hey, God has things in control, despite the world seeming so out of control.